Hi guys, hi beautiful people, you're welcome back to my channel. So this is, still on the unfolding story between Chidinma and the Miss Universe Nigeria organization. For those of you that are OGs on my channel, you know what has been happening, you know what has been, um, what the drama that has been going on for some time now. So I want to say that, this particular action that Chidinma took, I think that it's more or less like impliedly telling us that she has issues with the organization. You understand? Because for a person that was welcomed by the organization by the president of Silverbed, Mr. Guy Bruce, they shared a very very close relationship. I don't think that watching the pageant, watching the MBGM pageant, coming down to Miss Universe and even Miss World Nigeria. Um, I've not really seen a particular queen that was so close to the Silverbird organization like the way Chidinma was close to them. Like you could see the relationship, you could feel like they really, really liked her. They really, they showed more love to her than the other queens. In fact, I feel like the other queens would be more or less like jealous, with the treatment that Chidinma got from the Silverbird organization. And at this point, I was like, why, what must have happened, what really happened between them, because this whole action of hers, it is screaming ungrateful. And I saw a lot of my subscribers, some of my subscribers actually commented in my last video saying that Chidinma's action was really really it screamed that she was actually, she in fact she was ungrateful, and with the way the organization supported her throughout her journey to Miss Universe. And you know you could see that she had a lot more support than than the previous queens. So she shouldn't, even if she will be she should be the last person that will unfollow the organization based on all the treatment and the princess treatment that she got. Okay, but I think that I'm looking at it this way. For those of you that are that are logical, you wonder, you will agree with me that this whole ordeal, this whole action of Chidinma, it shows that she's impliedly telling us that she had some issues behind closed doors. It was not it was more or less like trouble in paradise. Because with all the princess treatment, I feel like there's something that she has issues with the organization. And I remember somebody saying that, commenting in my video, that during during Paula's live stream, I think that same the next day that Nyekachi was rejected, Paula came on live, and did expose a lot in her live stream. I didn't watch the live stream completely, but some subscribers that watched it, they they told me, allegedly, because I wasn't there. Okay, so you guys should not come for me. They said that Chidinma complained that she wasn't treated right by the organization. I'm like, was in contrast to what we saw in social media. That's why I said that most times these queens come out on social media, you feel like everything is all rosy, but behind closed doors it's a separate thing. It's not all rosy, okay? So at this point, I feel like with this action of Chidinma, she has exposed a lot, without even voicing it out, or without even telling us what actually happened. It has, this action of hers has impliedly told us that she has a lot, or she suffered a lot, with the organization. So what we're seeing on social media is not really it. Okay, there's a lot of things that happen behind closed doors, and that's why I say, and that's where I fault the sponsors. Where do the sponsors come in when it comes to the treatment of beauty queens? Because at the end of the day, you have a lot of sponsors, and after the pageant, they don't really continue with their sponsorship, and which is very wrong. So if you're sponsoring a pageant, you have to sponsor the queen as well, sponsor her till the end of her reign, because at the end of the day, what's the work of the sponsors? if the queens are not being treated right, if the organization, says that they don't have enough money to sponsor or to support the queen, then the sponsor should come in. Anyways, this is my thoughts on this particular issue. So what are your thoughts, guys? Please comment down below what you think about, Chidinma exposing her audios with the organization. All right. So that's it, guys. So I'm going to be expecting your comments on this. All right. So on to the next gist for this particular video. Yes, you guys know that Nyekachi, in fact, it's no news now. We all know what has been happening in the pageant world. And, after, evaluating all the comments I saw during that period that Nyekachi announced her rejection, I begin to, I begin to feel like it's more or less like a conspiracy. Was this actually a conspiracy with the with the Miss Universe Nigeria organization and some queens? Because I saw some of the comments, that some queens, some cryptic messages that some queens dropped, okay? And I'm like, what is really happening? Because I feel like some persons did not really want Yekachi to participate in this year's pageant because they know that the spotlight will definitely be on her. So was this a conspiracy theory to drop Yekachi and support Dami? Queen Dami, because a lot of persons have thrown their weight towards Queen Dami, and we all know that you know um other queens as well. Some of the other queens that I you know that I included in my wish list, they did not openly talk about their support for Yekachi. So are they on the side of Dami, or are they on the side of Yekachi in this particular drama? Because I'm seeing that it's more or less like a conspiracy theory. So was this whole drama a conspiracy to support Dami against Yekachi, or was Yekachi or was the other queens that actually supported Yekachi, were they just doing it for just the publicity? So at this point, I want to say that the messages that I saw actually, most of them were advising Yekachi to look at other means, look for other pageants to apply. She shouldn't if a door closes, another door definitely will open. Okay, so she shouldn't knock on these doors for too long. She should move onto other pageants, and she should realize that this is not the end of the road. I quite understand that, but those same queens are truly really showing support for Queen Dami. You understand? They are showing the support for Queen Dami, and you guys know that Queen Dami was a former participant of MBGN, where she didn't even make the top 15. You know, she didn't even make the top 15. And you guys know that according to some persons, they said that no, Queen Dami is not a very good speaker when it comes to the Q&A. Although she has the potential, she has the fans, she has the sassiness, she has the aura, she has the charisma of a Miss Universe. But you guys know that when your Q&A skills are very poor, you don't stand a chance at Miss Universe. Okay, so I don't know, with Nawat coming in, I don't know, maybe probably things might change. Okay, from from being a strong speaker to how Nawat judges the whole pageant. Nawat's criteria for judging. So with Nawat's inclusion in Miss Universe, I don't know if Q&A is still an important criteria for choosing for choosing the winner. But I still feel like Dami, in that particular department, she is lacking. But in other departments, she's 100% effective. Okay, so let's see how this whole conspiracy drama is going to unfold in this year's pageant. I'm looking forward to the almighty unveiling of the finalists for this year's Miss Universe Nigeria pageant. Okay, so guys, I'll keep you guys updated as usual. All right. So what do you guys think? Was this a conspiracy theory, or do you think that you know um Nyekachi's rejection had nothing to do with that inclusion. Alright guys, I'll see you all in my next video coming up very soon. Bye.